Hello, everybody. Okay, welcome to our Healy Advanced Training. This is Frequency Network. Thank you so much for waiting. Those who come on time, thank you very, very much. Okay, so this is our sacred time for training and sharing. So today we are going to talk about the part 2. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we talked about impurities. So this week we're talking about the detox organs, okay, that will help us to detox in the body to remove the impurities. All right. So for those of you who needs the translation, so I put the QR code so that you can either click on the link in the chat or you can scan the QR code so that you get the translation that you need. Okay, so as usual, our reminder and disclaimer is that this platform here is provided by Healy World. Thank you to Healy World for providing us this opportunity to share and learn from one another. And the purpose of this platform here is for us to learn. So it's educational rather than telling you what is the only an exact way of using Healy. All right. So the Healy devices and the McHealy, they are not medical applications, so they are not intended to cure, treat, mitigate, diagnose, or prevent any diseases or medical condition. So should you have any concerns, please do seek a qualified medical professional for proper diagnosis and proper treatment. Okay, so we use Healy and McHealy here as a means to support, okay, to complement and to supplement the traditional or the conventional treatment, all right, so that you get the best of both worlds. Okay, so for me, this is a place for me to share my experience because I've used the Healy for many years. So I have my own way of using, and then therefore I share with you. So adapt the practices, okay, because different people use it differently, and that's the beauty of Healy, because you can be very creative with your usage. Yeah, so we are using microcurrent and frequencies to harmonize and balance our bioenergetic field as well as the information field. All right. So results will definitely vary from case to case, depending on your situation, how long you have been having the condition, how much disturbance to the field, okay, that has accumulated over time. Okay. So today we are going to talk about frequencies that will support the detox organs. Okay, so I'm going to bring up both the Healy and the McHealy programs. Okay, so for those who are new, as I see quite a number of new names, okay, I'm Christi Wong from Singapore. So I've used bioresonance for many years, about 8 years now, and I'm certified as a bioenergetic profiling life coach. So I started with the conventional big device. It's not I didn't use the time waver, but other machines that last time, everything is big, but now devices are small and portable. And I have compared the analysis, the reports that are generated by Healy and McHealy with that of the big device, okay? And they are accurate, okay? So both are actually congruent. When I do for a person using both devices, they are congruent, okay? Yeah, so I have learned to trust the Healy and McHealy reports so much that I no longer need the big machine. Okay, so now I can do my work anywhere, anytime. Okay, so so that is the work that I'm called to do. All right, so to help people to identify root problems to their issues, and we can use bioenergetic disturbances to actually identify them. Okay, so, and very accurately as well. Okay, so I'm also trained in the Chinese meridian system. I'm a A-level biology educator, so I understand the human physiology, cell physiology, etc. And I've done training for many, many years. All right. Okay, so because I started few years ahead, so therefore I have the privilege to put together the information in a more structured way. So for those who want to learn in a very structured way and detailed, and then shortcut all your trial and error, I have 5 books here that I've written. They're available in English, in Chinese, and then now we have the well-being in German language. Okay, so they are available for those who wants to learn in detail. Okay, they are not free, you need to purchase. I do have free resources also for those who like to learn information, get the information as and when they need it, you know. So I call this what are the when just in time, you know, you learn just in time. They're available in Use Healy. Okay, so all the different conditions and all that, you want to use it. And then Healypedia is more for the modules, okay, the different modules in Healy. So they're all available for all of you to use it. Okay. All right. Now, today we are going to talk about the most important detoxification organ, which is the liver. And then after that is the other associated organs for removal of toxins. Okay, so these are the 4 that we'll cover. And then after that, I'll talk about harmonization, how to support the detox organs using Healy and the McHealy programs. Okay, so for those who have the devices with you, okay, so what you can do, if you haven't done it early today, you can actually do it right now as a form of practice as well. That's why I wanted you to do it, because I want you to keep practicing the 5x5 or the 5+5 or 5x5. Okay, so first turn on your Healy, go to the blue app, Heal Advisor Analyze, and then all Healy program, do that, the 5 that comes out, and then go and further analyze it. So you will see whether you have many of those programs that I mentioned today. Okay, then the next one is under the same app. Okay, the second one is about the McHealy programs. Okay, so today you can do 3 of them, Classic, McMakin, and Water. Okay, and see whether you get many of this that has to do with detoxification. Okay, so out of the 5 or 8 lists, okay, we want to see what's the percentage, how many of these actually appear in order to be able to tell how toxic is your body. Okay, so the last week we talked about all the different toxins. Now, how does toxins enter the body? Now, when we are exposed to water, when you bathe, so from your personal care, your shampoo, your body gel, all these, and all your moisturizer, inclusive of fragrances. Okay, so all this, when you spray, enters through your skin. Yeah, through your skin. When you swim, chlorine, all this will enter through your skin. Okay, from your food and drinks. Okay, a lot of the toxins actually are voluntarily put into our body through food and drinks. Yeah, so it will then go through the mouth, the stomach, the intestines, and then yeah, then we breathe in through the air as well. Okay, so polluted air, so it comes in through our lungs. Okay, so now these are the common entry points. Now, after all these things comes in, they will all be directed and sent to the liver. Okay, so the liver, we call it the primary detoxifying organ because this is the only organ that mainly process a lot of the toxins. So from something that is harmful, it has to turn it into substances that are less harmful so that other organs can help to remove. So when we talk about the large intestine, the colon, okay, skin, kidney, lungs, we also call this as detox organs, but these are more to facilitate the removal. So this is how the toxins leave, that is through some of these organs over here. All right, so let's continue. So this is to show you how important the liver is in detoxification, because I mentioned that a lot of the toxins actually enter through our food and drinks. So you see here the picture on the right, this part here is your digestive system, okay? Now then you see this, that every organ here, okay, if you see the lung, there is the blood will go in and out. If you see the upper body, there's always in and out. If you look at the kidney, there's always in, out. The lower body, there's always in, out. But when it comes to the digestive system, there is not a direct in, out. The output actually goes to this part here, which is the liver. When you see the word hepatic, the scientific term for liver is actually the hepatic vein, hepatic artery. So everything goes straight to the liver. Okay, so this is another picture on the right here to show you that the blood vessels here will absorb all the substances from your spleen, from your stomach, from your small intestine, large intestine. Everything goes to the liver for processing. Okay, so we do not allow these toxins to circulate throughout your body and cause organ damage. Okay, so that's how important the liver is. Yeah. So what kind of damage, if we do not remove them and it accumulate over time, it can cause DNA damage. How? Okay, some of these substances get locked in between. Okay, yeah, the DNA, when it turned, okay, there are little spaces. And what happens is when these substances get lodged in between, what happens is the gene, the DNA cannot open. Okay, it cannot open, it cannot express your gene. So what happens is it will then cause diseases. If it's your insulin gene cannot open, then you cannot have insulin. It stops producing, making insulin in your cells. Okay, so if it's an enzyme, then the enzyme cannot be produced anymore, then you lack that particular enzyme, and then it will lead to a certain imbalance or a certain condition. Okay, so it can damage the DNA that way. It can turn on genes that are unfavorable, okay, and cause cancer, so that we call that carcinogenic. It can act on your nerves, damage your nerves. So either your nerves become oversensitive or it is not working, and then it causes the coordination to go haywire. Okay, so it can disrupt endocrine function, the hormones, by binding. So it can bind to hormones, or it can compete with the hormones to bind to specific cells. So when it take up the position and bind to the cell, the real hormone or real neurotransmitter cannot actually bind, so therefore causing a lot of disruption. Okay, so it can also affect fertility. Okay, yeah, it can cause damage to liver, to kidney, okay, and this kind of chemicals can also affect fetals, the fetal development during pregnancy. Okay, then it can also be removed through the skin. So it can cause all kinds of skin condition. It can disrupt your immune system, so it can wreak havoc. And sometimes we do not actually think that it is toxins that is causing all this havoc. Okay, so if something is wrong with the liver or the kidney, we think that we focus on the kidney rather than the agent that is causing all this havoc in the body. Okay, yeah, so therefore it is really worth looking at toxicity. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I mentioned before, these are the key organs that we will be looking at today. First one will be liver. Liver cells are very, 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 very busy throughout the day. Okay, it is one of the organs that does not rest, and especially active between 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. every night. Okay, so this is the golden hour for detox. So it will start from 11 a.m. where the gallbladder starts to be active, and then 1 a.m. to 3 will be taken over by the liver, and then 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. will be the lungs. Okay, so it will be the entire night is actually detoxification. That is the reason why sleep is very important, because when you sleep, when you rest, it's like you're shutting down the computer so that all other functions stop, and then all the attention, all the energy is now focused on the primary important detox organs. Okay, yeah, so that's why all this will take place at night. So if you have proper sleep at this hour, when you wake up, you feel fresh, okay, because all this will be done, all this work will be done at night. Okay, now then, if you don't sleep properly during this hour, you find that when you wake up, you will have a lot of brain fog. Okay, yeah, so yeah, so therefore you don't have it. Okay, the timing, repeat the timing. Okay, for 11 p.m. at night, that is your gallbladder. So that is actually the start of your detox period. 11 p.m. to 1 is gallbladder. 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. is the liver. 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. is the lungs. Okay, lungs. Okay, and then 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. is your large intestine. Okay, so this entire period from 11 p.m. to 7 p.m. is the entire detoxification time, okay, for our body. Okay, yeah, so therefore, we have to therefore go to sleep during that period of time. Okay, now, in the last session, we talked about different types of toxins and impurities. Now, here, when we talk about detoxifying, basically the body will categorize them into two main category. One is fat soluble and the other one is water soluble. Because why? They would then use different processes, okay, to actually deal with them. Okay, now a large part of it is fat soluble, and fat-soluble toxins are harder to actually remove because the bulk of our body is actually water. Okay, so for fat-solubles, we will then have to use different ways to deal with them. And what are the fat-soluble toxins? Okay, coolants, you know, when we use the aircon, when we use the fridge and all that, right? Polychlorinated biphenyls. Okay, so this is one of them. Bleach has dioxins. When we burn plastics in the incinerators, so they release all these dioxins into the air. And then pesticides, herbicides, the organophosphates, glyphosates, okay, they are fat soluble, okay, volatile compounds from paint, cleaning agents, okay, those that you use to scrub, to clean your toilet and all that, and it gives off a very strong smell. The car exhaust, okay, heavy metals would be mercury, lead, cadmium, arsenic. So some of these is from paint, industrial, contaminated water, contaminated seafood, cigarette smoke, battery, yeah. So these are all fat soluble. So fat soluble ones, they are found mostly in tissues that has fat. And that will be our liver, our brain, our fat cells, our belly fats, adipose. Okay, so that's where they will be found, because that's where they can actually befriend each other because of the solubility. Okay, then you have internal toxins that is actually produced by our own body, which is from the breakdown of our red blood cells, the hemoglobin. So bilirubin, that is the one that gives the brownish color in our feces. Okay, then excess hormones, stress hormones, cortisol. Okay, too much estrogens. These are actually toxins to the body. Fungal toxins, I mentioned last time, aflatoxins, ochratoxins, alcohol, paracetamols, okay, antidepressants, certain drugs are fat soluble. So they actually remain, they can actually, the residue can actually be found in the liver after many, many years, 6, 7 years. Okay. Yeah. Now, then you have the water soluble ones. Okay. Water soluble ones. When you take proteins, too much proteins, excess of all these proteins will be broken down to amino acids. So the amino part has ammonia, NH3, and ammonia is actually harmful, okay, to the body. So therefore, we have to convert it into something less harmful called urea. And this is the role of the liver, to convert it into less harmful urea. Now we have DNA. So when we eat food, let's say fish, chicken, all that, there is DNA inside. So it has to be broken down as well. Okay, so DNA, when it's broken down, the purines, you get uric acid. So later we'll talk about gout. Yeah. Then you have the muscles. So the energy storage in the muscle is in the form of creatine phosphate. So after you take the phosphate to use it for muscle contraction while you're exercising and all that, then you will produce the creatine. And this creatine will have to be removed from the body in the form of creatinine. Okay, now, okay, then just now I mentioned that some of these heavy metals, they are actually fat solubles. So if we want to convert this into water soluble substances to remove more easily from the body, we use two methods called chelation and conjugation. Okay, so chelation is to use something to bind to it. Okay, to bind to it and therefore make it less toxic. Okay, conjugation is to use different substances, like coffee has caffeine, right? So they will use glycine to combine with the caffeine, sulfate to combine with estrogen, okay, other drugs to combine with different substances. Okay, so by combining, we make them more soluble and less active. Okay, so we actually inactivate them so that they don't go around harming other organs. Okay, so this is how we turn some of these substances into water soluble. So after that, so the liver will then split them into fat soluble or water soluble. If it's fat soluble, the main channel is through the gallbladder, okay, in the form of bile, okay, through the gallbladder, bile, and then it goes out through the large intestine. And then the water soluble ones have more channels. Other than the kidneys, you have the lungs, you have the skin and all that. We're going to talk about that. So therefore, majority of the toxins will be made water soluble. Okay, where possible. Okay, now first we talk about the lungs. Okay, now lungs, you breathe them out if they are in gaseous form or ethanol. So that's why for drink drivers, right, we test their breath because the alcohol is removed through our breath, okay, because it vaporizes very easily, so it will be sent to the lungs so that it will vaporize and leave the body in the gaseous form. Okay, carbon dioxide is also bad because too much of carbon dioxide, when it dissolves in our body fluid, it becomes carbonic acid, it becomes acidic, and it will lower our fluid pH, our blood pH and all that. So therefore, we cannot keep them. We have to maintain the pH balance. So we remove the excess carbon dioxide. Okay, so these are the waste, okay, that is removed through our lungs. Okay, so to strengthen your lung or respiratory system, you can use deep cycle, breath of life, bioenergetic harmony. You have the lung harmony over here in the meridians. Okay, you have the lung meridian. Yeah, so you can use this to strengthen the lungs, increase the energy flow to the lungs. Okay, now what is the difference between these three? Are they all the same? Now, some are the same, some are different. And why are there different lungs like this? Because you have different addition of the Healy. So this is to ensure that every addition that you get, you will get to use some of this. Okay. Now meridians works by supplying bioenergy to the lungs. Okay. Yeah. So if your lung energy is weak, you will find that not only your lung cannot function properly, you will find that the person will have constipation and cannot poo. Okay, so the lung energy, if you want to increase your lung energy so that you can have the force, the power, okay, the lung power to actually breathe, then you will use the meridian lung. Okay, so that's why you have to use the all Healy to find out, because your inability to breathe properly may not be the lung function. Okay, it may be not enough power where you need the bioenergy. Now, deep cycle and the lung here is the function of the organ. Okay, for example, bronchitis, difficulty in breathing, phlegm, all this, right? Okay, so that will be the lung function. Okay, so deep cycle and the bioenergetic harmony is the organ itself, the function, efficiency of the organ, okay, of the cells and all that. Now, the lung, the health of the lung is also affected by your emotions. Okay, so deep cycle and meridians will cover the emotions that is related to your inability to breathe properly. Okay, so different programs help you in different ways. All right, so we strengthen the lungs. So we strengthen the lungs for detoxification. So if you are affected by all this, then the toxins will accumulate in the body. Next, we look at the gallbladder. Okay, specifically the bile. Okay, the greenish brownish fluid produced by the liver. So this fluid here, the bile actually helps in fat metabolism. Okay, so why does it help in fat metabolism? Because it has certain salts that's able to break down the fats. So the fat-soluble toxins also from the liver goes into the gallbladder. They are stored here. At the appropriate time, they are squeezed out. And then you see this tube here, it's squeezed into your small intestine. Okay, yeah, where it helps with fat metabolism, and then it combines with other fat and other fibers and all that. So therefore, the fibers will bind to heavy metals, it will bind to all these substances, and then they will be pushed out of the system. Okay, yeah, so that it does not give them the opportunity to come back in and get reabsorbed again. Okay, so that will be the gallbladder and the bowel. Okay, then the rest of the toxins will pass through the small intestine, large intestine, and then out again. Okay, now the stomach also play a role, because if your stomach is good, it can detect a lower concentration of toxins. Let's say if you drink contaminated milk, all right, there are people who will throw out immediately, they will just vomit. Okay, some will feel discomfort, the stirring in the stomach, but they don't throw up. Okay, so if your stomach is very sensitive, you will straight away throw up, or it will go through the other channel, diarrhea. Yeah, so that is actually good, because that is the fastest way to actually get rid of the toxins. Yeah, okay, yeah. Then the rest will be through whatever that is not digestible. So some of these things are still in your gut, so we need to clear the gut. So to clear the gut, okay, you have deep cycle, digest all, clean all. These two are good. Then under harmony, you have gastrointestinal, and then you see here there's another intestine. So what's the difference between the two? If you use intestine, is more for small and large intestines. That is for your absorption and also for bowel movement. Okay, now gastrointestinal would be everything. All right, inclusive of the stomach, and then your small intestine, large intestine, etc. Okay, yeah, inclusive of your pancreas as well for digestion. Okay, so that will encompass more organs. All right. Then you have the liver here, which you can use to support the liver. Okay, so these are for organs that are associated with your digestive system. Okay, then you have meridians and chakra. Okay, if you get meridians and chakra, it means the energy, the bioenergy rather than the function. The top two here, the function of the organs. Here is the supply of energy to the organs. Okay, yeah, so you have large, small intestine. You can use fatty degeneration here to break down belly fats. Yeah, then you have the gallbladder. Then you have liver here, stomach here, spleen, pancreas over here. Okay, so you can use the meridians. So if it comes out for you, meridians for these organs, that means you are lacking in the circulation of the energy, the bioenergy. Okay, yeah. Then chakras is the energy center. So your organs, solar plexus is where your liver, stomach is located. Okay, so that is the solar plexus. Sacral will be more of the small intestine, the spleen, pancreas area. And then when it comes to the root chakra, sacral and root will be the small intestine and the large intestines, all this area over here. Okay, so you can use these energy centers and the energy circulation to help the organs to function even better. Okay, so next we come to the kidneys. All right, so the kidneys is located here, also near the region of the solar plexus. Okay, so it's behind. So the liver and the stomach, liver is in front, stomach is in the middle, and then the kidney is nearer to the back. All right. Okay, so this is very important for us to actually remove water-soluble toxins. Okay, so we have two kidneys, and we have about 6 to 7 liters of blood. Now, the kidney filters 180 liters of blood a day, which means that your blood will go through the kidney about 30 times every day, okay? Just to get all the cleansing taking place, okay? So therefore is important, all right? Now, in the kidney, the unit, the functional parts that actually filters your blood is called the nephrons. So in the kidney, you have millions of the nephrons in each kidney. So when you talk about kidney failure, is this nephron over here, the function of these nephrons over here. All right, so they are convoluted, a lot of convoluted tubing. If you flatten it out, spread it out, it will look like this. Okay, now in kidney failure, this part here, so the blood vessels will form a ball of capillaries over here. Okay, so over here, this is where they will change the diameter. One has a bigger diameter, the other one has a smaller diameter, so that the blood that goes in, it creates a pressure to force the fluid in the blood out here. All right, so in kidney failure, or why hypertension causes kidney failure is here. Okay, the blood vessels burst. Okay, and therefore can no longer filter the blood. So when the kidney cannot clean and filter the blood, the toxins that accumulate within a week can kill a person. Okay, so now over here, the kidney is so important for electrolyte balance. So because the blood has sodium, chloride, all these ions, it has glucose, it has amino acids, it has the urea, all these things. It's all transported all over the body through the blood. So when it comes to the kidney, all this will be forced out. And then the kidney nephron will then select Okay, they will do selective absorption. It's like, oh, okay, I want this, I'll absorb. What they don't want will go through this whole tube here and then will come out through your urine. So in this whole process, they will do your electrolyte balance, okay? Your pH, 7.4, very narrow range, 7.3 to 7.5. That is the only pH that our body can operate. So if you attended the Deep Cycle talk by Jan Polzensky. Okay, so one of the few programs that he recommends to start with is actually kidney. All right, kidney. Okay, because kidney maintains the homeostasis of the body here. Okay, now, so what happens is the blood carries the urea. So when it comes here, so it will make sure that the urea, the creatinine, gets removed through your urine while losing as little water as possible. Okay? Yeah. So we test the function of the kidney by checking the urea level and the creatinine level. Okay, the toxic level here in the urine test. Okay, so that is important here. These are the two main ones that we generate every day. Okay, because it comes from our food, it comes from the muscles contracting. Okay, so to support the kidney and bladder, you can use this bladder meridian. You can use the kidney meridian. You can use the solar plexus or even the sacral, this whole area here. Then this is for energy. All right. Energy is like the electrical supply to the equipment. You see or not? So let's say if you have a kettle, all right, the kettle can function, but if there's no electricity, the kettle cannot function. Okay or not? So one is the organ, which is the equipment itself. The other one is the energy supply to make sure that the equipment can work. So this is the energy supply to the organs. All right. Then the organ itself, you have kidney male, kidney female. Any of this will do. So whether if you are a female and then when you do the analysis, kidney male appear, or if you're a male, when you do the analysis, kidney female appear, it does not matter. Okay, both of these will have frequencies that is to support the kidney function. Now, why is it male and female? Is because of the urinogenital system. So the genitalia and the kidney excretory systems are very closely associated. Okay, so the female here will also activate the female reproductive system, and then the kidney male here will have frequencies that will activate the male reproductive system. Okay, so it does not matter. Both of them will help and support your kidney. Okay, now the other one will be Healy. So Healy has water activation, which you can drink the water. You know how to do it, right? So put the Healy on top of the water, drinking water just for 10 minutes, drink the water. All right, so that water will support your kidney. And then under McMakin, you have I think this is a 90-minute programs where you have to move the Healy, put it on the back where the kidney is located, rotate left, right, throughout. Okay, so these are programs for you to support the function of your kidney. Okay, now next one, we look at skin. Skin is a detox organ. So for those with skin issues, and if you have tried many different modalities, drugs, etc. And if you still have that, it possibly could be because of toxins in the body. Okay. Now, if you look at the baby skin, right? Baby skin is so smooth. All right. So beautiful and we like it. Okay. Totally have no spots, no dots. Okay. Yeah. So very nice. So this is how our skin should look like. Okay. But as we age, this is what you're going to see. You will start to see brown, black patches starts to appear on the upper layer here. All right. Yeah, so you will see something like this, okay? Pigmentations, but it's not exactly pigmentations. They are more widespread rather than a single spot. So these are actually toxins that is coming out through the skin. Now, why does it come out through the skin? This happens when your circulation is not good, okay? Because your circulation, your blood circulation, in the capillaries, in the small localized area, is actually, I mentioned before, is actually pushed by the meridian. Okay, so the meridian energy is the one that pushing the blood along. Now, if you have trauma, negative emotions, all that, your acupoints will start to get blocked. So let's say on 2 locations, your acupoint is blocked. So what happens is that the bioenergy cannot flow. So your blood circulation in that locality will also be affected. Okay, it becomes sluggish. So when it cannot flow, the fastest way to get rid of all these toxins that is found in the blood is here, through your skin. So it will vertically go up. Okay, come out through the skin. Yeah. Okay, so it comes out through the skin. Now, it also make use of sweat. Okay, for electrolytes, for urea, toxins, and all that. That's why our sweat, after a while, becomes very stinky. Let's say if you have clothes that has absorbed your sweat, you just leave it there for 3 days. After that, you go and smell. It's horrible. Because why? The urea is broken down by bacteria back to ammonia. So you will be smelling like ammonia. Okay, stinky. Okay, so skin removes the toxin through the sweat and through the capillaries here into the cells. Okay, now they can actually sacrifice certain cells and use some cells as a garbage bag. Okay, we sacrifice them. Okay, so by selectively choosing some of these cells, they dump all the toxins, heavy metals, trash into probably 5 to 10 cells over here. So our cells here regenerate very fast, okay, because of this layer here. So new cells will grow and push the old cells up. Okay, now, so if they were to sacrifice 10 cells over here by dumping all these toxins inside, these cells will get pushed up as the new skin cells grow below. So they push up to the top layer here. So that's why we see all the dot, 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 dot. Okay? Yeah. So these are not from the sun as a protective screening, the melanin to protect you. That one will be more or less quite even. So these are like some spots. So those are the area where the cells are being sacrificed. Okay, so when they get pushed to the top, what happens is all you need to do is just scrub lah. Okay, you scrub, that top layer will be gone. Okay, so these becomes dead skin cells. So that is another safe way of removing the toxins in the fastest possible way when your circulation is no good. Okay, so they can't move away. So they just come out. Okay, so you have allergy, you have skin, and then if you have a lot of beauty products, beauty programs, if skin impurity keep appearing, yeah, so it means that it comes out through that way. Skin harmony, skin energy, skin, all of these skin programs, if it keep coming up, means that somewhere along in the body, the skin has toxins. Okay, sometimes it may appear as an occasional itch. Sometimes it becomes dry. Okay, so dry means they just remove the water and then just let the skin cells die. Die means it must come out and then it gets scraped off. Okay, yeah. Then you can use water, Healy water. There's a skin program. You can use that as well. And then McMakin also has skin programs, okay, that you can use to support your skin. Can you please explain difference between skin harmony local? Okay. Harmony local, okay, you see the same one, right? Skin harmony, one is local, one is system. Okay. Now, the skin issues, skin condition, Let's say if there are patches of skin that are itchy, dry, scaly, eczema, okay? If the whole body has it, you will use system because it's all over the body. But if it's only, let's say, the neck, or if it's only, let's say, your elbow here, because you always bend and then this part here. So if the eczema or the itchiness or the scar and all that is located at just one or two locations in the body, you use local, skin harmony local. If it's all over the body, you use system. Okay, that's the difference between the two. So when you use local, you cannot use the coil. You have to use the electrodes. So you will place the electrodes near on both ends of the area. Okay, so let's say if this part here is where the eczema is, so this is, you will put the sticky electrodes on two sides, okay, on the two sides. So it will actually focus the frequency on that particular area to act on a specific spot. That's the meaning of local, a locality, okay? Yeah. All right, then circulation. There are two tubings, two circulation, two fluids. So one is the blood circulation, the other one is the lymphatic circulation. The blood mainly is for your water-soluble substances or toxins, okay? So they will be circulating in the blood. The fat-soluble ones, okay, will be more of the lymphatic system, okay? So circulation, if circulation appear together with all the other detox organs that I mentioned, okay, so you have to actually improve your circulation, because if it cannot circulate, means that after the liver produce release all these toxins, if it cannot move around, so it create damage to that particular organ. Okay, it damaged the organ because the toxins will now act against it. So that's why they have to quickly circulate and move them out of the body. Okay, that's why there's only one liver that process, and then you have 4 or 5 that remove. So you have to remove them very quickly. So for circulation, you can use deep cycle free flow. You can use harmony circulation. Okay, now sometimes you get potency. Okay, like I mentioned, urinogenital. So urine genital. So even potency here, or mature women, when it comes out, sometimes it has the frequency for the kidney as well. Okay, so not to worry. Okay, so yeah, I shouldn't put this on here. Circulation. So you have meridians also have circulation. They have the lymphatic system, and then spleen as well. Spleen is also for the circulation of your fluids. Okay, so that's why I highlight the spleen over here. Okay, so these are related to the circulation. Okay, now if there are toxins, circulation is affected, or the removal organs is not in full function. So what happens is there will be residue that cannot leave the body completely. Then they will have to find a way to store them. Okay, so where can we actually hide and temporarily put all these things? Okay, now, one is joints. When you start to feel stiffness in your joint, if you get bioenergetic harmony, flexibility, your joints are stiff, or you occasionally get joint pain, like gout, okay? This is gout, where you see initially the uric acid is actually water soluble, correct or not? So, but when you want to store them, you store them in very concentrated form. So you start to bind them together, and then they start to form crystals. Crystals are hard. Crystals are like rock. Okay, so therefore, because in the joints here, between joints is a little bag of fluid over here called the synovial fluid. It acts as a lubricant so that it reduces the abrasion between your joint, your bones. Okay, so this little amount of space here is where they will squeeze in the uric acid over here. Yeah. So when you squeeze in, put it in large quantity, they will become salt. Okay, just like salt water, right? Okay, salt water, you will put salt into water. When you first stir, it will dissolve, right? If you keep adding salt until it's super concentrated, you know what happens? It will start to form crystals, salt crystals inside. And this is what happens. Okay, so initially there's fluid, you put a bit, it's fine. You put over time, you put a lot, it becomes crystals. And that crystals will cause a lot of pain when you walk on it, because right now it is insoluble, like sand particles, okay, inside. Now that's one place, all right? Because of all the places, right, you cannot put them in your vital organs. So actually, joints, to store them in your joints is actually very safe. It only gives us pain, discomfort, but it will not kill us. Okay. Now the other place is where? Belly fat. Okay. For all the fat soluble substances is in the belly fat. Now, if you have tried losing weight and you find that you cannot lose the stubborn fats here, there is a possibility that the fats over there has toxins. And the body, the cells are intelligent, because if your other organs cannot facilitate the removal, they will not release. They will hold on to the fats, because I would rather keep the toxins in the cells than to release it and kill you. So it will hold on. So it becomes very stubborn fats because they dare not release. So the way to let the fat cells be able to release is to support all your detox organs. Okay, so then they will release bit by bit so that it will not kill us. Yeah. Then liver also has fat storage. Okay, so the toxins can also accumulate here. If other places are already full, then they will help to store a little bit over here. So that's why the kidney over time can become damaged. Okay. Now the brain also, because brain has a lot of fatty tissues. Nerves also has fatty tissues, okay? Because nerve is like this type one. No? Okay, so you see the plastic and then you see the purple rubber over here, right? Okay, so the nerve is the plastic inside, and then they have a layer of insulation, which is called the myelin sheath, is actually fatty tissues. So brain cells also got a lot of fatty tissues inside. So they will store, okay? It's not like they intentionally store, okay? But the fat-soluble toxins tend to stay longer in those areas, okay? In the bones also, okay? Lead, L-E-A-D, yeah? Heavy metals in the lead, they can bind to your bones because bones has phosphate. So I mentioned earlier that phosphates, some of these salts can actually act as a chelating agent or a conjugant and all that. So by sticking to them. So our bones have calcium, our bones have phosphates, so they can actually cause the lead to actually bind to them. Okay, so it will create all these fine lines. The white fine lines that you see over here, all over the place, they are called lead lines. Lead lines. Okay, yeah. So this become more permanent because it is a deposit. So it's actually deposited there. It becomes quite long term. Okay, yeah. So therefore we have seen through the 2 sessions how important it is to live in a clean environment inside the cell. Okay, you cannot expect, let's say if you have a fish in an aquarium of dirty water, and then you expect the fish to be healthy. Okay, it's very difficult. And sometimes we look at the fish You know, hey, what's wrong with you, fish? What's wrong with you, fish? Okay, you take the fish out, you nurse the fish, and then you put it back into a dirty environment again. So you will get sick. Okay, so clean the environment. So when you clean the environment, naturally the cells, the organs, and all that will become healthier. Okay, so that's what we are talking about here. All right. So for Healy users, whether you are a new Healy users or maybe you have used it for some time, doesn't matter. You can always start again the cleaning if you have stopped for some time. Okay. Yeah. So the best place to start is this Gold Cycle. We normally encourage you to use Gold Cycle Pure for 2 weeks, once a day, every day, with lots of water to flush out your toxins. Then you can use Deep Cycle Clean All. So Pure and Clean All, they work on all the different organs simultaneously at the same time. Okay, so it's broad scope, all kinds of toxins, all kinds of impurities. So therefore, this is a good place to start. Okay, start your journey here. Okay, so when your internal environment is clean, then you become more sensitive to the frequencies, your organ starts to improve and function properly. Now, one thing that I need to warn you, okay, is that you may feel temporary discomfort when you are using these programs that I talk about. So for those who, after the last session, start using those programs, I do not know whether you notice any of this, okay? Yeah. So don't panic if you encounter this, yeah? For example, when you use the programs that is mentioned, you will notice either the urine becomes more stinky, you get weird colors, you start to get orange or light brownish kind of colors, so you get weird colors coming. You may actually sweat even more. Okay, you can pull more times. Let's say you usually go once or twice, you start to go 3, 4, 5 times. And then the color of the poo, sometimes it may even be completely black for a few days or one day. Yeah. Okay. Then mucus, it can either appear as mucus or phlegm. Sometimes you will get eye discharge. Okay, become sticky, yellow, or you'll find that, oh, you keep rubbing your eyes. Okay, so you keep giving out the discharge around here, because the eye, inside the eye are also the jelly fluid and all that. So those fluid may actually be dirty. So it will also clean that up as well. You may end up with diarrhea, nausea, irritability, pain in the head muscle joints. Okay, now if you have pain in the head, your brain, you feel that there is a jerky pulling sensation like this. That is chelation. Okay, heavy metals. So there's actually, through chelation, it actually pull out some of the heavy metals there, and therefore give you that pulsative, jerky pull sensation. Muscle aches, then joints. Okay, you start to feel joint pain for a few days. Fatigue, sleepy. Okay, why do you feel sleepy? Some will say that I feel okay, but the moment I use Healy programs, look, I fall asleep. Okay, and that's what happens to my sister when she used the program. She said, if I cannot sleep, I'll just turn on the Healy, and within 5 minutes, I will just fall asleep. Okay, so you feel sleepy because the supply of energy is limited. All right, so instead of X amount of energy being distributed to so many organs, the best way is to make you sleep. Okay, so when you sleep, then all the other organs starts to slow down, and then they will intentionally direct the energy to selected organs that is supposed to do the heavy duty work. Okay, so it's okay if you feel fatigued, tired, just go and sleep. All right, you may get rashes, you may not get rashes, but you find that, hey, this part here, you keep scratching. All right, or certain parts of your skin starts to peel. You see that the white skin starts to actually come out in certain areas, okay, skin peeling. So all this is because of the toxins coming out through the skin, and then they are sacrificed as dead skin. Okay, hair loss as well. Okay, one of the tests for heavy metals is actually take your hair, take the root of the hair, and then they will just go and test that particular area, test your hair to see whether there's heavy metals or not. So heavy metals can be removed, let's say from your brain, it will go through the skin around this area here. So therefore it goes to your scalp, out through with your hair, and therefore your hair is sacrificed and your hair will just drop. Okay. Yeah. Then brain fog, because of all the release. Yeah. So you may actually feel groggy for a few days, blah, blah. Okay. So if you feel any of this, it should be temporary, meaning 3 to 5 days, usually 1-2 days, 3 days at the most, okay? Unless you have a lot of all this. So drink water, hydrate yourself so that you can actually sweat or urinate, and then light exercise or movement. Don't sit down there and do nothing, okay? This is to promote the circulation. So you have to go and walk and promote the circulation so that it can actually flush and move all this through your detox organs. Okay, so otherwise it will come out even more through your skin. Okay, yeah, so don't panic if you encounter some of this. All right, now. Okay, so is there a certain order if you, other than using clean oil, pure, if you are doing it organ by organ, I would recommend that you support your removal organs first. Okay, colon, skin, your kidney, your lungs, these are the removal organs. So make sure that there is all these removal organs, the waste removal is functioning very, very well. Then only you activate your liver. Okay, yeah. Because if you do it the other way around, if you activate your liver and your liver starts to process and let go of the toxins, and then the removal organs are not ready, then it will be circulating in your blood and it will cause you even more discomfort. Okay, right? So that is the sequence. Yeah. Okay, so your cells will be working very hard during the detoxification. So if you are doing the intensive detoxification using all these programs over here, do support yourself. So you can go to vitalization. I don't recommend regeneration 1, 2, and 3 because this is to stimulate new cells. So you do not want the new cells yet until you have cleaned up your environment. Okay, so do the cleaning first. Yeah. Then, because during the cleaning, your existing cells will be working very hard, so you can support them through tissue harmony, stability, holistic support, cell harmony. Epigenetic means anything other than genes related. Okay, so you support the whole cell. Okay, yeah, the existing cells for them to recover. So after this, when your environment is clean, then you can work on the regeneration if you have multiple other issues to deal with. Okay, so that will be sequencing. All right, how to actually sequence the whole process. All right. Okay, so yeah, so we have completed the detoxification. So we use both Healy and McHealy to actually support. All right, so I hope it's useful for you. I will answer some of the questions later on. Okay, so the later half of the year, from July onwards, I'm trying something new because I find that the content that I produce, that I give, is actually educational in nature. So it does not really need a person to have Healy or whatsoever. So so you can invite your friends to attend, because some of you also feedback that I do not know how to share Healy with my friends. Yeah, so and also because the technology is new frequencies and all that, people need many exposure. They can't just listen one time telling them how good the device and then they become receptive. They may take 3, 4, 5 sessions like this to listen and then slowly, become more open to using tools, okay, and frequencies to actually help us. Yeah. So therefore, we encourage you to invite your friends. So the very first session that we are going to start to welcome friends into our training, because although they may not uh, be trained, when they listen, they actually benefit. Okay, so my next session with you will be July the 10th, and it's in conjunction with the International Friendship Day. So we will kickstart from this session. We are going to talk about friendships, how to use our Healy programs, my Healy programs, to strengthen bonds with people, okay, with your friends. So you can invite them to join us, yeah, so that yeah, your friendship can also be strengthened as well. Okay, so that will be about this. Okay, then next week, Petra will kickstart to start talking about the Healy High Wave. I just got mine yesterday. Okay, so I started using it to experience it. So Petra will share a little bit more about the Healy High Wave. Okay, yeah, next week. So you can also invite your friends. Okay, yeah. So I feel that your friends can actually, even those who are not using Healy or haven't heard about frequencies, you can actually invite them. Okay, yeah. So, okay. So now let's go to the questions. Okay. Arthritis. Arthritis, some different forms of arthritis. So some form of arthritis is joint related. Okay, so it can be confusing whether it's gout or arthritis and all that. So use the Healy. All right. So if the Healy gives you a lot of detox or liver and kidney and all that, is likely the uric acid. Okay, but if you get immune appearing, if you get, let's say, arthritis, let me see, it could be also, it's quite similar. All right, it's quite near to each other. Okay, so the recordings will be sent to you next week in the frequency and friends email that you receive from the company. So it will be there. Then liver cirrhosis hardening. So you use the programs related to the liver. Yeah. Okay, the programs that we mentioned today, you can actually use them. Okay, Fanny Wong. My son, 8 years old, potency came out very frequent. He got eczema at the thigh, knee, elbow. Okay, the thigh, the knee, elbow. Okay, so how to support him? Okay, for 8 years old, which is a child, it would be better for him to use the coil. Okay, but if you want to use the electrodes at a local area, it would be low current. You have to go to the settings to set to low current, and then the percentage when you use the electrodes should be below 30%. Okay. Yeah, so at the knee area, potency is because of the kidney. Yeah, because why? The thigh, the inner part of the thigh, is actually where the kidney meridians, kidney, liver, spleen at the inner part of the thigh. Okay, yeah. Then the knee, I do not know if you're talking about the front or the back of the knee. I suspect it will be behind the knee. Okay, that's where usually eczema appear, behind the knee. Behind the knee, that is the bladder meridian. Okay, kidney bladder. Okay, then the elbow over here, this is where you have the lung and then you have the heart. Okay, it could be stress. Okay, it could be stress, and then lung is usually related to emotions, grief. Kidney is related to the emotions of fear. Okay, so you have to think back in his exposure, whether he cry a lot, he has grief, or he has fear. These two emotions will affect the lung, this part here. Okay, and then the middle here would be stress from the heart. Okay, and the bladder, kidney, all that would be fear, whether it's school fear, stress, schoolwork, okay, or other kinds of fear that he's exposed to. You may want to check that out, okay, because emotions will affect the organs. So when the organ is affected, it cannot remove the toxins, so it will come out through the skin. Okay. Demantas asks, a cell has 200 mitochondria, yes, okay, 20 to hundreds or even 1 or 2,000 mitochondria, depending on what type of cells, okay. So if you want to stimulate energy production of the mitochondria, use the cell program, okay. Then the other one that you can use is actually epigenetic. Under bioenergetic vitalization, when it's epigenetic, stability, holistic, yeah, those are actually to support the organelles. Okay, you can try that. Okay, and you may want to attend this one here, because there is a program called the cell wave. Okay, six programs, 1 2 3 4 5 6 programs about the cells. Okay, so that will actually support the cells. Okay, all right, porous, very well explained, thank you. How do electrical impulses from Healy help the detoxification process? Okay, now the frequencies, they support the cells. Okay, every cell has different composition of atoms. Okay, now each one of them has a certain pattern, feel. Okay, yeah, a few sessions back I talked about the feel. Okay, so what happens is when the organ function is low, meaning that the cell is damaged, okay, because of aging. Sometimes it's because of free radicals, it get damaged. Sometimes it's because of this kind of toxins, harmful chemicals, and all that damages the cells or the DNA. So as the cells get damaged, the field that it generate, the pattern, the field actually has a certain pattern. So it becomes disharmonized, all right? So what we do with the frequency is that a certain frequency will harmonize with different cells, different atoms, and all that to kind of restore it back, okay? Restore the field back, okay? So if it's a distortion, then we harmonize and make it a nice field pattern again. So when the cells actually becomes harmonized again, the function of the cells will actually improve over time. Okay, so when the functions of the cells improve, the organ will then be able to carry out its function. Okay, so that is the procedure, the sequence of events. So it does not help directly with the chemical reaction. Okay, for example, an enzyme is needed to, let's say, break down a toxin. So that is still the function of the enzyme. But the enzyme, because of damage, certain bonds get broken and then the shape get distorted. It cannot recognize the toxin. By doing the harmonization, okay, it restores the enzyme back to its functional shape and therefore facilitate its function. Okay, yeah. Okay. Can regenerative frequency be run for teeth? Yes, you can use the bioenergetic vitalization. Okay, so that's the one for regeneration. You can also use deep cycle renewal. Okay. Then there is also digital nutrition mix that is good for teeth. All right, so you can use that. Then, thank you. Okay. Kamal's question is, you mentioned another Zoom why you should go to bed around 10, okay, and benefits. So I went through that just now, okay, because of the detoxification. Yeah, so every hour is important. So sleeping at the right time is important. Okay, so if you sleep, let's say 2, 3 a.m., then what happens is you are depriving certain organs the attention needed, the energy needed. Okay, so detoxification is a very heavy duty processes. Okay, so it's like the garbage removal system from your house, okay, or the toilet system where it remove all this bad stuff. So if your toileting flush, okay, or the sewage system is not working, it will stink up the whole area. So therefore, okay, the detoxification in the daytime, we are actually focused on output, function, brain function, doing work and all that. Okay, so it's like you cook everything, all your dishes all ready. So that is the daytime. But all the trash, the processing of all the trash takes place when you are resting. Yeah. So that's why we rest early. By midnight, we should sleep. Okay, so that by the liver processing time, the liver has all the energy focused on it. It has all the resources allocated to it. Okay, so that is the reason why we take care of the liver. Yeah. So that's why there's this thing called beauty sleep. Okay, so why is there beauty sleep? Because when you sleep, your skin looks good. Because if your liver and kidney removes all these toxins, then what happens is it will not come out through the skin. So you have very nice skin. Okay. So Kiali says you have severe skin eruptions all over the body. So is it because of using Healy? Then you get the skin eruptions, or you have the skin eruptions even before. Okay, now there will be people who, after using Healy, they say, I feel worse.
It was by using Healy.
Oh, because of using Healy, yeah, okay. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing, all right?
Yeah.
So some people, because they find that, hey, I'm just trying out this technology, is new and all that. After I use, I worse. So they stop. They think that this is actually bad. It's actually helping you, okay? But you may want to slow it down a little bit, okay? Because if
I used high frequencies and 4-5 programs a day. Then I was advised to take rest, so I took rest. Now I have restarted again with, say, a gold cycle and say H program and
okay.
other programs for detoxification.
Okay, all right. So, judging from your age, because of age, some of the organs are slowing down in function. So it's
Yeah,
actually
I'm 79 now.
yeah, correct. So I understand why you start to have lots of skin eruption because your circulation, your removal organs, toxin removal organs is not in tip-top condition. So when it release, it cannot get out in time. So the shortest way is actually come out through the skin. Okay,
Yeah.
because that's the shortest distance to leave the body. Okay,
Yes.
so what I suggest for you, if you're going to restart, you start from the removal organs. Okay, start by supporting your skin. Okay, start by supporting the use the meridians and the chakra first. That means supply the electricity, the energy first to these organs. Okay, so start with the meridian, with the chakra, get the organ to kickstart. That means you rev the engine, zoom, 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 get it to warm up first. Okay, or not?
Okay. So
Before
after the detox program, I should do this
yeah.
meridians and chakras.
Yeah, do the meridian chakra first to rev up your engine. Then only you work on the organ itself. That means the harmony, the deep cycle programs, which is on the actual. Okay, you work on those, the one that remove one first, the kidney, the lungs, the skin. Then only you work on the liver. Okay, yeah, because the liver will then dig out all those that are hidden in different parts of the body. They will start to take it out and then start to break it down and then make another attempt to flush it out. Okay?
Okay. Thank
Do
you.
this thing first. Okay. Teeth enamel regeneration, you have to use vitalization, and then you then use the digital nutrition for teeth. Okay, yeah, okay, thank you. Cyst in the liver, okay, support the liver, all right, just support the liver, Sadra. Okay, okay. Black spots, okay, black spots, if it's very distinct, very dark black spot, that is actually coming from your meridian. Okay, yeah, if it is like what I showed earlier in the skin, is like very diffuse type, that one is toxins. So the black spots on the lower legs, you have to see, you go and look for the meridian charts and see where it land on which meridian. Okay, if it's the legs, right, if it's the front, that's your stomach meridian. If it's on the outer side, on the sides, outer side, that's your gallbladder. If it's behind, that will be your bladder. And then if it's on the inside, it's more complicated because inside got three: liver, spleen, and the kidney. Okay, so you go and search on the internet the meridians, and then you match the exact point. Then you will know which meridian it is. Scar on the, as a result from accident, okay. How to use the electrodes on the face, okay. On the face, then you don't use directly, you don't put on the electrodes on the face. You just have to put it here, this part, behind the ears, okay. That's the closest that you can put to the face, all right. So you can use it there, all right. Pure program, is it better to use electrodes or coil? If you want more direct, more effective way of doing, that will be the electrodes, okay. Coil, if you want the convenience, but if you want it to go deep, it will be the electrodes. Okay, 12-year-old, if aging shows up, okay, you have to see what else is there, all right? Because that's why you have to do the 5x5 or the 5+5, okay? Because you cannot just look at one aging alone, okay? Because I have to see what else is available there, because the aging can be for the skin, just for the skin, beauty and all that. If it's the aging of the organs, then you have to see, is it often or is it just one time? Yeah. Okay. So because aging is in the beauty program, okay, beauty program. So I have to see the percentage as well. Okay or not? So if the percentage is 40, 50, around that range, then it's okay. If it comes out many times, frequently comes out, okay, then you have to pay attention to the rest of the programs that come out to see why this person is aging so quickly. Okay. Yeah. If not, it may just be some frequencies in there that happens to suit this person at that point in time. And then after that, it does not appear again. All right. So it's not a one-time appearance of that program. We look at the frequency, how consistent, how often it appears. Okay. For my daughter, she's having acne and almost everywhere. Which program? Okay, now acne is actually very interesting. Look at the face, okay? If it's this part, this is the gallbladder meridian, okay? If the pimples, acne appear here, they are likely to sleep late, okay? Sleep late, meaning that maybe 12, 1, that kind, okay? They sleep late, then is over here, all right? If it is, let's say here, in the middle here, you will see here growing a line here, this is the stomach. And then if it's here, it's intestine. So this has to do with their food, their diet. Sometimes here is also diet. If they eat a lot of oily, fried food, okay, fast food, and then they get this, okay, stomach, small intestine, and then the gallbladder is food, okay, their diet. They have to look at what they are eating. Okay, then okay, so that would be more or less the face. It could also be hormonal imbalance because 13 years old is also where they go through the puberty stage. All right, so you can also use hormone. Okay, and you see whether sometimes they may get mature women